In this morning's U.S. Bank Economic 360, Senior Vice President and Senior Portfolio Manager Minnie McLaughlin joins us to talk about strategies for minimizing capital gains in your taxable investment accounts. She's with Business Watch producer Kelly Leon in the studio. Kelly, Mindy.
Thanks, Allie. Mindy, thanks for being here.
Sure.
So we have about a month until the end of the year. So what should we be doing in terms of looking at our portfolio now in this next month?
Sure. Yeah, this is a great time of year to take a look at your portfolio and really to get a good sense of where you are in terms of capital gains that you've realized this year. And that number should be on your statement. You should be able to see that on your monthly statement that you get. If not, you should call your provider and get a good sense of where you are. The other thing is a lot of mutual funds, if you hold those in your portfolio, those tend to pay capital gains out about the middle of December, and I've seen a lot of pretty large estimates for expected gains that will get distributed, and that's not only from domestic mutual funds and bond funds for that matter, but also some international funds that really haven't performed very well this year. So nobody wants any surprises, so you need to kind of jump right on this.
No, and what can investors do to prevent these additional gains?
Sure. It's really important, I think, to look at each of your holdings and to see if perhaps you have any unrealized gains, you know, where it's worth less than what you paid for. And so to the extent that you have some gains, you might want to consider selling those stocks or even those mutual funds in order to lower your taxable situation there. But I think it's important to know that you cannot just immediately rebuy those stocks or funds. The IRS won't allow that. They have what's called wash sale rules, and so you need to wait 31 days before you buy those back. So if you want to stay in the market, what we recommend is that you use exchange-traded funds. They're called ETFs, traded like a stock, and they're available in almost any sector or asset class out there. So that can kind of be used as a placeholder, so you could reinvest in those types of vehicles. And then after 31 days, you can make a decision whether you want to go back into those original stocks or not. Another thing that you might want to consider is if you have any charitable giving that you tend to do this time of year. You know, a lot of people will make gifts to nonprofits, or they'll give their children gifts at this time of year. And so we often recommend that you also consider perhaps gifting highly appreciated stocks or even some of these funds that may have big realized gains coming. And that's a good way to rebalance your portfolio too. And so that's another consideration. And then finally, if you're still looking at kind of a big number there, you might want to call your tax preparer and see if it would make sense to perhaps prepay your real estate taxes or your state income taxes, or even accelerate some charitable giving that you might have made next year, you know, just to kind of get that number down.
Wow, Mindy, you know so much. Oh my gosh, you just gave us so much great information there. Quickly, anything else in your head that is definitely not in my head that
Sure.
I should know?
Sure. Well,
we should know?
There is one other thing that we are still waiting on Congress. You know, no surprise there, but they tend to be kind of last-minute Charlie on this. But in the past, Congress has approved one other provision for those individuals who have IRAs and are over age 70 and a half. So you're in that age bracket where you're required to take a distribution out every year. What may be approved is you may be able to gift up to $100,000 to a nonprofit and avoid having to pay income tax that you normally would pay from taking a distribution from the account. So we're hoping that'll be approved. I've seen it in a bill, and you know, perhaps that'll come to fruition, but that's another kind of tax-saving idea and way to rebalance your portfolio.
Great advice, Mindy. Thank you. Thanks to you. Thanks to U.S. Bank, especially at Thanksgiving. We appreciate you guys.
Great.